Hi everyone, Artrage 6 is here at last. It's packed with new features. I want to show you the new thick paint custom brush feature, the new colour picker with some features added to that, and the new canvas settings. So I did this painting in the Artrage 6 with the custom brushes. Got a little bit carried away, I have to say, with the thick paint, way too much paint on there. Wasn't really trying to produce a decent painting, so it's not the best one I've ever done in the world. I'll say that right from the off, but it really does illustrate all of those brushes. So let's get into it. So here we are in Artrage 6. I'm very excited to try it out. Well, to be honest, I've already tried it out. So I want to show you one or two of the new features. Before I get into it, I just want to say, full disclosure, Artrage did send me a copy of Artrage 6 free. But apart from that, they've not asked me to do a favourable review or anything like that. These are my own opinions of what I think to the software. So moving along. Basically, the things that I want to show you is the new thick paint that you can use when you design your own brushes. So I've been having a play around with that, and also another feature is this color picker. I want to show you the color picker first before I get into the full painting. So basically, I'm just going to use a standard round brush, and I'm going to pick a color. So let's go for an orange or an ochre colour. So I'm laying that on, but you'll notice on the circle on the colour wheel, there are two more dots. There's a dot where I've selected the colour, but if I click on this green dot, I've got a complementary colour, and then the purple, another colour. So that is actually a split complementary colour scheme. So by moving this selected colour around, I can very easily produce colour schemes that are split complementary. So that's one of the features. I can change that to by choosing the menu at the top. There's like a little sort of menu tab next to the word colour. Pop that open, show complementary use, and I've got triadic selected. I can use complementary, and basically that's just the colour facing it on the colour wheel like that. And one more. Whoops. We have tetradic. I think I pronounced that right. And basically we have four colours. So I might make use of that at some point in the future. That's one of the new features. And then there's two more I want to show you. One is the colour, the brushes, the thick paint brushes. So that's what I'm going to get into now. So first of all, I'm going to edit this and clear that layer. I just wanted to show you that colour wheel. And if I choose custom brushes, you can see down the left hand side of the screen, I have created a set of brushes. So the first one is a thin oil paint. When I say the first one, it's not actually the first, it's near the bottom of the list, and it's one of the later ones that I created. Because the thick paint custom brushes was the new feature, I made them first and then decided I wanted a thin oil paint brush. But I just want to show you something here. All of the custom brushes for me seem to be quite laggy. So if I paint with this is a standard brush. Look how fast that is. Now, if I go to my custom brush, which is a similar sort of thing, thin paint, let's clear that again. And choose a colour that I want to be using with this painting. It is laggy, but I mean, I've got the size up to 350%, so I could drop that down a little bit. Let's just make it more realistic, make it down to about 100. But it's still quite laggy. But having said that, for me, it's worth it. It's the lag that I'm getting is acceptable, because if you look closely, there's a subtle blend of many colours there that I've created within the brush, just slightly slightly different in hue, but not too much. So I can very quickly, well, when I say quickly, as quick as the brush will allow me, add these blends, and I'm covering a huge area at a time. Right. So at the minute, it's not looking very impressive, I have to say, but bear with me, because I think you will be impressed in a minute or two. I've done this in real time because I wanted you to see how laggy it was, and it could be, you know, my machine, it's knocking on a bit now. It's probably 4 years old, so I imagine newer PCs would perform a lot better. And I'm going for really a really kind of loose, very loose painting. Look how they blend now. Look at that. It'd take a while to blend that with the regular brushes. So I've kind of got some colours on there. It looks a bit odd, I know, but then I've created this Dirty Turps brush, which was quite a nice brush, and I can add some texture into this, which I thought was really cool. So that one's performing a little bit better, obviously. So I've got some texture in there, and now I want to go in with this brush that I've called Lay It On Thick. And basically, I've saved the brush size at 350%. So it is a huge brush, but let's put it on a new layer. Let's create a new layer because I want it a bit lighter. Look at that texture. So a few brush strokes. It's slow, you have to wait for it, but you get this really thick texture that I'm not seeing anywhere else. I guess you can do this in Corel Painter. Get colours this thick, or paint this thick, sorry. I don't like that, I've overdone that a bit. Best doing just shorter strokes. I don't like that one either. Let's put a little bit of cream in it. Yeah. So you're doing really, really, if I take the paint loading down, I've also got some control over the brush here. Don't know how that affects it. I've gone a bit over the top. Let's get some of that out. And obviously I can use the regular tools, so I can go into the palette knives and smooth off that if I want. There we go. So I've got a bit of a sky thing going off there. I could create another layer, I suppose. Get back to that, to my custom brushes. I've created a preset called Steve Elliott Art Oil Brushes and put all my brushes in that. I'm loving it. Not loving that bit though. Move this out of the way. Oh, let me talk about the canvas setting. This is the other thing. So we've got this new feature now where I can change the angle of the light by adjusting this. You can see the light's changing on the paint, which is quite new. And also the intensity, so I can whack it right up. You got perhaps a bit over the top with that, and you can take it down so the paint doesn't appear quite so thick. So for me, that looks pretty good at about 25%. I've got the lighting angle at 284. So that's pretty much covered all of the new features. So I'm going to try and carry on and see if I can actually paint something. So I've got a let's have a look what we've got. I'm using the lay it on thick for the sky. I've got another dirty Turps. This is a splash of dirty Turps. I'll just show you this. What colour we're going to use? It'll do. It's a bit more subtle than the other one. So anyway, I'm not going to use that, I don't think. No, well, I'll leave it in. I want to use the, I've created a thick oil over painting brush. So basically, if I was on the bottom layer, it would actually put down enough colour to overpaint that. So I'm going to try it at 100%. I think that's about it. Maybe a bit smaller. That's it. And I can use the thick paint to give the effect that it's the, I don't know what I'd call it, the light hitting the ground. And a bit of brown in there. There we go. Make it even smaller. I've got a reference photo at the side. I'm just loving this thick paint, and I like it because it really does look organic. It looks like the paint's been placed on. It doesn't look digital at all. And obviously you can use this with all the other brushes as well, not just the ones I've made. Make that a bit bigger. Once you've got the paint on with this as well, you can kind of blend it because it doesn't put any more texture on after a little while, which is quite nice. So I can blend this in with this. But look how slow it starts to go. Right, let's try, I've got this brown or sort of orangey colour. I'm going to change this to split complementary, the triadic colour, and I'm using this yellow here, so I'm going to pop in a little bit of the purple. Might be a bit too much. Back to the orange again. Wow, look at them textures. Ooh. I'm liking it. I have to say also that this hasn't crashed on me once. Touch wood. I hope that doesn't happen now I've said that. Right, I'm going to change back to my lay on thick brush. I'm going to change the size down a bit. Maybe a bit bigger than that. Choose a creamy colour. Maybe go on a new layer now. I could use that one, I suppose. Basically what I want to do is just put in a few rocks. I'm kind of going a bit overboard with the thick paint, but that's what the demo's about, really. Once you start getting into painting the smaller objects, it does perform fast. It's only when you're doing that initial big washes over the canvas that it seems to take forever. Let's go with a complementary. Oops, too big. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's try the thick on over paint. That's better. I kind of want to get this in quick rather than taking me time. So let's see if I can speed it up with a few. I want it to be a bit impressionistic, really. That's it. Sampling the colours off the canvas now, just to kind of blend them in a bit. That's cool, liking that, liking it. Sorry I'm not talking much. I really struggle with talking when I'm painting. That's why I normally do the voiceovers after. I find it difficult to concentrate. Well, this certainly is a thick painting. I love it because, no, you know, this is, the brush is unique. I actually sampled a proper brush stroke I'd created, and imported it in, so it is, you know, a proper organic brush shape. Yeah, that looks quite real. There's a wall going along here. Oh, too much. Still too much. Whoops. Right. Oh, I've got a nice brush for this. Worn thick oil brush. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is the one I want for this. There we go. Right, I have another brush. This is called the Scumble Brush, and I'm going to use it. I've designed this to use on trees. So basically, you don't know what you're going to get. You just put it on, and it puts like sort of little blobs. You could use this for. You could use it for rocks and all sorts of things. Let's do that complementary thing again. What if I can use the palette knife to which one have I got? Hard wet blend. Let's choose the odd out smear, odd out smudge, and there we go. Oh, one other thing I need to show you. The brushes, if I choose a brush, let's go back to the brushes. I can use the brush as an eraser. So select eraser mode and I can sort of chisel away. So any brush you can now turn into an eraser, which is quite a nice feature. Anyway, back to my sculpting with the, just putting a few branches in, branches with the palette knife. Where are we at? Right, okay. Let's go to the my selected brushes. What I really like about this, I'm working in docking mode, by the way. So if I choose the palette knife, all the palette knives appear on the left hand side in the presets. If I choose the custom brushes, all my brushes suddenly appear, and I can flip to watercolor brushes or whatever. So that's a really nice way of doing it. I can quickly jump backwards and forwards to whichever tool I feel I want to be using. So where are we? Thick paint for over painting. Okay, I want to put a few buildings in. So that's going to be way too big. Let's shrink it down a bit. Still too big. That'd probably be alright. You can really see the thick paint now. Look at that. That allows me to, oops. Yeah, that's not too bad, I suppose. I should be using a lighter colour, really. I can use that eraser. First time I've used the eraser. I like it. I put that in the wrong place though. Oh well, never mind. Oh, I hadn't put it in the wrong place. Let's just get rid of that. And that. Oh, that's better. There we go. I like my buildings. I'm not so keen on the rocks, to be honest. Just make that brush a little bit bigger. That's it. What else we got? We've got a nice little building there. And then a dark one behind it. I'm not going to put them all in. That'll do. Which means my rocks need to come over quite a bit more. So I may have to rethink painting these a bit. Oops. Oh. That's it. I'm sort of guessing what I'm doing here, really. If you want me to show you how to make your own brushes, just stick a comment below, and I may get round to that. Quite happy to do a demo on making brushes. It took me a while actually to work out how to save them, and it's not. I didn't look for any notes. I'm sure there's stuff out there, you know, tutorials and manuals and things showing you how to do all of this, but I didn't look for any, and I didn't read any manuals, to be honest. I just sort of winged it, but it did take me quite a while to work out what to do to first of all get a decent looking brush, and then that was sort of trial and error. I spent pretty much 4 hours, I guess, working out how to do it, and then when I'd made them, it took me a while longer to actually work out how to save the thing. There we are. I love the way the colours kind of blend and make new colours for you. Whoops. Let's just undo that one a bit. Oh, that's better. I wanted a couple of rocks in front of that wall. It was looking. That's what it. Yeah, that's cool. And then maybe let's choose this thick oil. Make the brush a bit smaller. I just want to. Whoops. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. Just put a few highlights on. Perhaps not the best rocks I've ever painted in the world, but I mean, this is to show you the brushes really, as opposed to the actual quality of the painting. And now I've got the initial colours, and I have to say that there hasn't been any issue at all with lag. Oops, bit red that. There we go. How we're looking then? Is that all right? I think so. Just put in a few final brush strokes. For the odd rock. Oops. If I make a nice thin brush, just poke a few sort of I don't know what you call it, rough edges and cracks in the rocks. Yeah, that's it. That will do, I think. I said that'll do, but I'm still fiddling. Don't know what's going off there. I'm thinking, let's put a figure in. Just because it's got this empty space here, so I'm thinking we'll put a figure in. So I'll just create a new layer just to be on the safe side. Choose a nice dark colour. And just zoom in a bit. No need to be struggling with the size. There we go. Carrying a bag, of course. Put an highlight on where they've been caught by the sun. Get that palette knife, just maybe not. Let's try the Harsh Chaos. I usually use this one, the Harsh Chaos brush, for you know what, I'm going to paint it in. I use the Chaos brush for watercolours usually. Yeah, that's might move that figure across a bit actually. Now how do I do that? Did I put it on its own layer? I did. So I should be able to just go transform layer contents. Don't want to do any of that. Oh, well, yeah, that's better. Do you know I've not saved this painting once? Let's save it. I'm going to call it Artrage 6 demo. Looking at that, the only thing that's really kind of not right, I mean, look, the colours are all over the place. We've got blues, greens. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that. I wonder if I can get rid of some of that blue by putting some dirty Turps over it. This will be interesting. Yeah, it's kind of done it. And then create a new layer at the top. Go back to the thick oil. Let's just have some pretty much very close to white, maybe a little bit yellow. And I should zoom in a bit really. Get the get a pot knife out, just soften that a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That'll do. There we go. Let's get it signed. That's better. Ooh, which brush should I use to sign it? Let's try my maybe I should design a brush just to get the signature on. I guess the overpaint one will be the best. Then just get a small brush, zoom in a bit. Oops, still too much. Not enough. There we are. So that's it, guys. That is my demo in Artrage 6 using the custom brushes and the thick paint, looking at the color wheel and the new features in the canvas settings. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, big thumbs up as always, much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.